Good morning, church. I'm so excited to be doing morning devotionals with you today. I hope you're doing well. You are staying safe. You're getting to enjoy some of the sunshine that we've been having all this week. I miss you all so very much, and I can't wait for us to be reunited and in fellowship and in community. I think that these past few weeks have been just definitely interesting. And regardless of where you live, what ethnicity you are, what job you carry, what your day to day looks like, I feel like we're all kind of in that same season of just where the world is kind of slowed down. We're at a standstill. We don't know when this will end. There's no timeline. We don't know the outcome of what it's going to look like. And I think this is just, as we're going through Holy Week, it just aligns so well. I feel like as the Israelites were, when Jesus had died, the Israelites were just in this period of stillness, of asking God, where are the promises that you have spoken? Where are you, Lord? When hope seemed crushed. And as we know, on the third day, he resurrected and he brought salvation and there was hope. And I know that the Lord is going to bring hope and a breakthrough this timing, but we just need to be patient upon his timing and seek him and look to him. And as I was reading these past few weeks of just like Jesus's last days were like, and just leading up to the resurrection, there was one passage that stood out to me, and it's in Luke 22:39-46, and it's when Jesus had uh, gone to Gethsemane, the prayer of Gethsemane, and his posture right before he had to endure the cross, what his posture was like, and in order to endure the cross, he had to go and be in prayer in secret place with the Father. And I feel like that's just the recurring message that the Lord has been speaking to me, and just saying, what is your posture in the midst of all the struggles and the trials and the tribulations, when things seem like they don't make sense, when you don't know what tomorrow is going to hold, when you want to have control over every situation, but this is something that you cannot control, it's beyond your control. What is your posture? And so I'm just going to go ahead and read the passage. Luke 22:39-46. Then, accompanied by the disciples, Jesus left the upstairs room and went as usual to the Mount of Olives. There he told them, "Pray that you will not give in to temptation." He walked away about a stone's throw and knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, please take this cup of suffering away from me. I want your will to be done, not mine." Then an angel from heaven appeared and strengthened him. He prayed more fervently and was in such agony of spirit that his sweat fell to the ground like great drops of blood. At last he stood up again and returned to the disciples, only to find them asleep, exhausted from grief. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray so that you will not give in to temptation." So this really tugged on my heart, because Jesus, are we in the secret place stealing before the Father? Before we know what's coming of next. Jesus knew what was coming next, but before we know what's coming next, are we like the disciples, the watchmen, who have just kind of been exhausted from everything that's going on in the media and everything that's been being portrayed, and just given away to our comfort and to our to just where we're at in life and going through the motions and just exhausted from grief and sleep? Or are we looking to God? Are we coming to that secret place like Jesus and fighting and surrendering in the midst of everything, and knowing that, Lord, please let this pass, but at the same time, not my will be done, but your will be done. It's so easy to come to God and be like, I want this to pass, but taking a different approach, understanding that he is Lord and he is King, and that we are to walk in his will and his way, and the Lord loves us. He loves us. And when Jesus comes to the disciples and he tells them, get up and pray, do not fall into temptation, he tells them several times, he beckons them and tells them, is because he loves them, and he knows that whatever they're going to be going through next, leading up to his death and the trials, that they need to prepare, and they need to be in that secret place and be watchmen of what is to come. And I think I just feel like the Lord is saying, what is your posture? What is your posture in this timing? And the beautiful part about it is the Lord doesn't leave us. We don't know what the end is going to look like tomorrow. You may have lost your job, or finances aren't looking great, but in this time, in this season, the Lord will strengthen you. He will give you that strength to endure and to be able to walk through whatever valley that you are in the midst of. Just as it says here, then an angel from heaven appeared and strengthened him, and the Lord will strengthen you. So I urge you, church, are you, what is your posture? Are you going back to what it means to surrender, be in humility, and just letting Jesus take control? I think this is convicting for myself, because I think I am so easily able to control and to want things a certain way, and this is just God showing us that we are not in control. He is in control, but he's a good father, and he loves us, and he wants the best for us, and so he beckons us to be ready, to be watchmen, to look unto him, and to spend that time and seek him and be in prayer. I think that this has been just such a great season of just not to miss out what God has been doing, not to be in the midst of just being able to go through the motions, but to come back to the Lord and be in prayer and not miss out what he has to say for you in this season. He wants to speak to you as a church and as a bride. So just coming back as we're going in Holy Week, and just a reminder of what Jesus has done and the salvation that he has given us, and how he defeated death and brought hope. He will bring hope in the midst of these circumstances. There is hope, because we know our God of Father is with us and fighting against all of what this is. And I urge you just to rethink, what is your posture in the midst of all of this? I love you all so much. I just want to say thank you for joining and tuning in with this devotional. I can't wait to be reunited, and I hope you stay safe, and happy Easter. He is risen indeed. I love you, church.